Hi, this is Charles from Final Gravity, and this is my playlist for the week of October 27th to November 2nd, 2025. First up is the band Psychonaut, their album Unfold the God-Man from 2018. It's their debut album. The band is best described as post-metal, although they have some pretty diverse influences. Anyway, this Belgian trio starts off their debut album with a song called All I Saw as a Huge Monkey. It's an instrumental, and it takes you on an amazing journey with some unexpected chords, just constantly unfolding rhythms. By the time that one song's over, you feel like the band has made a complete statement already, and yet there's still so much more to go. They may remind you a little bit of Gojira. As they start on the second track, there is screaming in the vocals. That's the story of your enslavement. But it gives way to clean, melodic vocal lines, sort of like Opeth used to do back in the day. Death growls, screaming, and then melodic, beautiful singing. Very nice. The song Celestial Dictator starts with Tuvan throat singing and what sounds like Indian percussion. And their sound is just huge, despite the fact there's only 3 of these guys. They take up a lot of space with their playing and the effects that they have on there. And of course, in the studio, I'm sure they overdubbed and multi-tracked. There's a lot going on. The final track is 15 minutes long. It's a real epic. Second album I listened to this week was also by Psychonaut. This one is called World Maker from 2025. I talked about it last week, and it is without a doubt going to be one of my albums of the year. At this point, it may even wind up being my favorite album of the year, like I just described their debut album, but it is more developed and mature and even more expansive. They're just one of the biggest bands out there as far as their soundscape. Next, I listened to Jeff Kollman's instrumental album, Into the Unknown from 1995. Jeff Kollman is familiar most to me from a band called Cosmo Squad. The bass player in Cosmo Squad is Kevin Chown, who also plays on this album, so they've been playing together for a long time. There's a lot of instrumental tracks on here. In fact, that's all it is instrumental tracks. There's a lot of moods, a lot of vibes. Dreamin' and Lydian is fun, and it's got that cool Lydian sound to it. In one section, harmonized leads with lots of impressive shredding. There are shuffles, there's jazzy bits, there's a tropical piece called Playa del Guitar. There's another song called Turnaround that's got a bit of a Steve Morse vibe. Neo 80s mumbo jumbo is sort of a mock classical. Feel the Changes is a shuffle with a jazzy blues vibe, as if played on metal instruments, though. There's a lot of variety there. It's good fun to listen to if you're a guitarist. Speaking of guitar albums, next one up is Nick Johnston, In a Locked Room on the Moon from 2013. Nick's a guitar hero of the grounded kind. No Baroque arpeggios, no sweep picking, no two-handed tapping, no tremolo bar insanity. He's from the Jeff Beck school, tasty shredding over vaguely traditional rock. This instrumental record is engaging and fun in a way that the best Joe Satriani albums are. People who don't play guitar, non-instrumentalists, can still listen to it and enjoy it. There's a variety of concepts. There's a Spanish vibe on the song Sand Monster. They've got double-time shenanigans going on in the title track. And there's a shuffle vibe in a song called The Pickpocket's Remorse. There's variety, and it's fun, and it's not shredding for the sake of shredding, so that's actually pretty cool. Next up is Robert Shaw conducting the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra in a performance of Carl Orff's Carmina Burana. It was recorded in 1981. Despite being written in Nazi Germany in 1935 and 1936, Carl Orff was not a Nazi, and he did not write modern music. He was influenced by Baroque and medieval idioms when he composed this. There's no development in the classical sense of the term, as in themes that reappear and develop. The music is allowed to flow over how many measures and bars are needed, and you probably already know what it sounds like, even if you don't know it. Starting in 1981 in John Borman's excellent Arthurian movie, Excalibur, Carmina Burana's O Fortuna has been used in so many ways. It's become a cliche, it's become a joke, but it is epic, grand music, primarily vocal, but lots and lots of instrumental playing as well. It's really something to listen to. It's one of the most metal classical pieces you'll hear. Modern Day Babylon Travelers 2013. From the Czech Republic, from the heyday of djent, is an instrumental djent project. It's rhythmically sophisticated, brutal, and then melodic by turns. There are vocal versions of a couple of songs added at the end of the album. They are unnecessary, and I prefer the instrumental versions. Although Maxi Karnow, the singer, he gives it a good shot. He goes melodic, he goes growly, he's shouty. I mean, he's a good vocalist. It's just I prefer the other versions. There's also a remix of the song Infinity at the end that's boring electronica. They should have left it off. Overall, though, if you like gent, which as we know is sort of an offshoot of progressive metal, then you'll like this because there's almost no singing. Okay, next up was Ron Thal, The Adventures of Bumblefoot and Other Tales of Woe from 1995. Goofy, Zappa-esque stuff that tries too hard to be funny, but with some terrifyingly good playing. And Ron recorded everything on this himself and mixed it and produced it, everything. Every sound on this thing was made by him. The song Orff, which opens the album, is full of nutty playing. And there's one called Scrapey. It's in 5/4, a lot like Brubeck's Take 5. Q Fever is lurching and weird, and it's a stroll through just strangeness. Strangles is full of insane shredding. There's a joke song on here called Poem, which outweirds anything Steve Vai did on Flexible, including that song There's Something Dead in Here. That's if you know that, you know what I'm talking about. There are some additional pieces stuck on the end from a video game called Wild Woody that are fun, but they don't feel like they're part of the album. They're just included as bonus tracks, and they probably should have been their own release, I think. Last album this week was Howling Giant's new release, Crucible and Ruin, from this year. This is definitely another album of the year. It's the best mix and production they have had so far in their career. The drums are clear and crisp. They have sonic space. The bass is fully audible. The guitars are thick and just huge and take up a lot of space. It sounds really big, and it's not sterile like a lot of modern metal productions are. Howling Giant is an idiosyncratic mix of stoner metal, psychedelic, prog. There are melodic sensibilities, not only in the vocal lines, but in the harmonies that are applied, 3-part harmonies. It's not really stoner rock. There are some Sabbathy riffs, like the end of Hunter's Mark, which is very Sabbath, or Melchor's Bones. This band could play on a bill with King's X or Mastodon or Black Sabbath, and they would be equally at home. The drummer, Zach Wheeler, is the MVP on this album without a question. He does the Alex Van Halen trick of using crash cymbals for rides to help fill up space. He's just hyperactive. He's all over the kit, but not in a way like Mastodon that I think detracts from the songs. It's actually very complimentary, and usually the fills have something to do with what's happening musically with the guitars. Fantastic record. If you've never heard Howling Giant, this is a great place to start. If you have heard them, you'll like this one even more than whichever one you liked already. So that was what I listened to this week, and I will see y'all next week.